Hello and welcome to BIZ Inbox, your work life sorted. I'm Vernem and you've just stepped into your judgment-free zone for all things career related. Think of this as your weekly career therapy without the hourly rate.
And I'm Sarah Davidson. This is also my weekly career therapy as a lawyer turned entrepreneur who's navigated everything from corporate boardrooms to startup chaos. We are here to get real about those workplace challenges that keep you up at night.
And if you're new here at BIZ Inbox, this is where all your professional dilemmas get solved with no names attached. So whether you're navigating office dynamics, launching a side hustle, or dealing with a tricky manager, we have got you covered, and your identity stays completely under wraps if you choose to do so.
And today we are chatting about how to handle those colleagues who somehow think their email should just jump straight to the top of your to-do list, as well as the delicate art of explaining a redundancy in job interviews without sounding like you're making excuses. But first, let's chat about how to manage the chaos of open plan offices.
Oh gosh, this question really hit deep in my soul because it tackles that universal office struggle. Haley wrote in and she says, honestly, our open plan office is doing my head in. I can hear absolutely everything from Sally's weekend dating drama to the marketing team's heated debate about font choices. I've tried noise cancelling headphones, but I can still feel the chaos around me. How do you create a proper productivity bubble when you're surrounded by distractions? I'm desperate for some real-world tricks that actually work in an office where everyone seems allergic to inside voices. Oh, she seems stressed.
I mean, that's tough. They're tough conditions to work in if you're not able to block out. Like, I already want to know what Sally's weekend dating drama is.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not get distracted
Oh
by
my
that?
God. We are the exact opposite. We're like, this is the best. Office plan, yes.
Tell me more. I think it's really hard if you don't have an allocated quiet area. I feel like a lot of offices might offer meeting rooms or more private areas where you can go if you've got one of those tasks that is really requiring you to get in the zone. So, I mean, my first thing would be seek out or ask if there is a quiet zone or if you can allocate a quiet zone for everyone to benefit from so that you don't have to be everyone's buzzkill. They can chat while they work on easier tasks, but there is somewhere to go if you have something surely there's somewhere if you have a phone call that you can go. If there's not, maybe bring it up and suggest that there is one. And I think also most workplaces are pretty open for you to say, look, I've got to really knuckle down on this particular task. Can I go and do this from a cafe? Or could I maybe even ask if there's capacity for you to do part of it from home if it's just an isolated task? Because I think we all can distill our work into like the easy work, the middle work, and the really tough in the zone work. So maybe structure your work day around when is the loudest and when is the quietest and experiment with kind of what your workplace can allow you to do and then what you can do within your own control as well. But that's a toughie.
It's so tough. Because I do like an open office plan because I have so many friends at work and I love seeing them. But they definitely would be, I feel like, especially me as a big talker and a loud talker as well, there would definitely be people who are like, shut up. So I think it's also maybe just like talking to exactly similar to what you said, like talking to like your team leader or team manager and be like, hey, these are the pockets where we need to do deep work. These are the pockets that we can like kind of socialize. Also, if there's room to like bring up if you can work from home, if you like to work from home, or if there's like a cafe next door. I mean, I don't think a cafe would be much quieter than your office. But it's interesting how the noise cancelling headphones don't work. Sometimes even like if I'm wearing my noise cancelling headphones, I have to play like some sort of music for it to fully drown out everything. So maybe just try doing that. And just try not to sing along to the songs that you're listening to. But good luck because, it does suck when you are in the zone, but you physically can't fully get into it because there are people around you who are just chatting. And I'm sorry because I'm definitely one of those people.
I know, me too. I feel like sometimes we're not the best people to answer these questions.
I
I'm
know.
like, look, just tap me on the shoulder and tell me to shut up.
Just tell me to shut up. I'll be fine. So our next question comes from Claire and she asks, help. Help me. I've got this colleague who seems to think their name is written in flashing neon lights at the top of my to-do list. Oh gosh. Every single request comes with an implied drop everything else energy, even when it's definitely not urgent. I'm drowning in my own work, but I don't want to be labeled as a not a team player or difficult to work with if I push back. What's a professional but firm script I can use to establish boundaries without coming across as unhelpful?
Oh. Oh, I mean, the fine line that we all walk between setting boundaries and not wanting to seem difficult,
Mm-hmm.
that's the age-old question. And I mean, I'm the one who lives at the end of the spectrum, which is just say yes. Don't ruffle any feathers. Just do it all and drown doing it. So I also need an answer to this question. But I do think there is a way to word a response that does set up some clear boundaries, like that's very accommodating to, yes, I have received this. Absolutely, I can take care of it. I've just got to finish the project that I'm working on. But as soon as that's done, I will absolutely move on to this.
Yeah.
If you say it sort of gently, it doesn't come across like you're being an asshole, but you are pretty firmly saying, yes, after this. And that sets up the expectation that you aren't actually going to treat it as urgent.
Yeah.
And it's on record, I feel like, especially if you do it by email.
Yes,
That's
do
a
it
really good
by
way.
writing.
Yes. And then it's on record that you've said, I can't do it today,
Yeah.
but I will get it done. I think that also, if it is really urgent, that puts it back in their court to come back and say, no, I need it today. And if it sounds like they never actually do, if they don't, then you've kind of answered, you've solved your own problem.
Yeah.
You've solved your own problem. Yeah, I'd do that as a first point of call.
Yeah, definitely. I do the exact same. Also, you mentioned they're a colleague, so they're not actually your manager. So I wonder if like it's a weird power dynamic here where you don't actually have to listen to what they're saying. Like, what can't they do with their own work? But I'm obviously just making things up. Like, I have no idea. I would exactly say that. Like, just tell your colleague, like, put instructions, say, I have to do these things first. I will get to that later. And exactly what you said, Sarah, in writing. And if they're not listening and they still push, maybe this is something to bring up to your manager, not in like a dobbing in sort of way, but just be like, hey, I have all of these tasks, and use the tasks that your colleague has given you as well and be like, I'm struggling to understand my priorities here. Obviously, you know your priorities, but you're just showing your manager, like, this is all the other stuff I have to do from this person, just to give it context.
I sort of had, and I think I've mentioned this in previous episodes, when you're the kind of person that really agonizes over how to word something so that you are firm, but not so gentle that they can just like steamroll you, but not so firm that you seem difficult. I have like a couple of sentences copied and pasted in a draft email that are just ready to go so that I don't overthink it in the moment. And I've worked on them to the point where I'm like, I'm happy with how that sounds. And I kind of copy and pasted when I was in a workplace, particularly in the law firm, because you are getting things from all different angles.
Right.
There were certain sentences around, I'd really love to help you out, but I just don't have capacity. Those kind of sentences, I was like, have them ready to go so that you know this sentence works. Don't overthink it. Don't reinvent it. Don't waste time agonizing over it. This is the right level of formality, and just send it back.
That's actually really smart, especially having those templates when you're not actually being asked something. Because if you're someone like me who just like can kind of spiral, sometimes if I get like a question that's like, you need to do this now, and if they've asked me that question when I'm not in a good headspace, I can really act on emotion. And I know a lot of people can do this as well. And you can immediately maybe send something that you wouldn't necessarily send, and it can be like, no, I can't do that. Stop asking me things. So having that template ready that you can send out where you've created in a good headspace would be so helpful.
It's like a little library of responses that I just keep there ready to go.
I love that. So we have this DM that said, I was laid off during recent company restructuring, but I'm worried potential employers will assume I was fired for performance issues. What's the best way to own the story in interviews without sounding defensive? This is such a good question. And Sarah, I'm giving it to you because I actually have no idea. This is so hard for me. This is happening to a friend of mine recently. And she said that she was made redundant because of company restructuring, not because of her. And she is the best worker I've ever come across. But she actually doesn't want to announce that because she doesn't want companies to not only like think it was a performance issue, but also take advantage of her and know that she needs a job.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really hard one because I guess they won't already know necessarily by the way that your resume is structured. But I guess there's also a potential in a lot of cases for them to find out somehow or find out later. I'm sort of the view that I really think it's the way you frame any situation that is the most powerful. And if there's a chance they're going to find out anyway or that they'll find out later, you can use something like that to your strength.
Right.
If you sort of pitch it as, look, I'm in a situation I never expected, but I'm really proactive and I'm really adaptable. It is a cost of living crisis. Times are hard, and I was made redundant in a company restructure despite my suitability or whatever. But I really see this as an opportunity to redirect myself. It's perhaps the push in the right direction that I was looking for. I've been pushed out of my comfort zone, and it's given me an opportunity to make the changes that I wanted to make all along. Like, I think that there are ways to reframe your redundancy that make it seem like you are adaptable to change, because the reality is people face these things. They do face these things when it's not because of what kind of a worker they are. And showing that you're avoidant or like hiding it probably isn't the best trait, but showing that you're willing to face it head on and rewrite the story yourself it's the same as like a breakup. Like, obviously when you go to a first date, people are going to know you've had breakups before. You can't pretend that you haven't, but you can frame it as like, I'm really glad that that opportunity came to an end because I'd actually outgrown my learning opportunities there, or I'd outgrown, the capacity for me to go in the direction I wanted, or we weren't growing in the same, path anymore. I think there's ways that you can tell the story in a way that you want to, that actually it'll make employers appreciate your honesty, but also the initiative that you're taking to say, you might read this is how I want you to interpret it. It's kind of a power move, if anything.
It is such a power move. And firstly, like, you're in such a shit situation. Like, being laid off is so shit. It's like you automatically take it personally. It's so hard. You overthink everything. And I'd like to think that other companies, especially a company that you want to work for, knows that and understands that. Like, I think we have moved on. So many places go through restructuring, especially now in this financial year. Like, so many companies are having it hard. And I feel like the right company will know that and see beyond that and obviously won't think the way you're thinking. And oh my God, good luck. I feel like you're going to get the best job.
And also, Astrid, the way you worded that last bit, how to do it without sounding defensive. I think you sound defensive if you hide it.
Yeah.
Or if you kind of treat it like it's some chip on your shoulder, or not even chip on your shoulder, like it's a black mark on your record. That's kind of you already framing it in a way that makes you sound like there's a reason why maybe it happened.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just sort of say, look, guys, I was collateral damage. It really sucks, but I'm treating this rejection as a redirection. I think that's so refreshing. If I was an employer, I'd be like, wow, you have been dealt a really hard card and you're trying to take control of your circumstances. That's a trait in an employee that I would love, and not bad-mouthing the old company as well.
Yes. Huge. I agree completely. Oh, good luck, Astrid. We are in your corner. I'm sure you're going to get the best job out of this. Thank you so much for helping us clear our BIZ inbox. If you have a work question, send it our way. You will find a link to submit your questions in our show notes, and we love listening and reading them all. They are so juicy, and we are here to help you. So please submit all of your questions. You can leave your name on it, or you can remain completely anonymous. We know that sometimes you don't want everyone knowing this is you, and that's so fair. A lot of these are quite personal questions, so please know that you will remain completely anonymous if you want to do so.
And guys, the juicier the better. Like, these are keeping us on our toes. And think of all the other people in your situation who are just begging for some kind of guidance. You're actually doing a public service.
You are.
Your questions, including to us. So if you missed any of our previous episodes with some of the other amazing questions that have been submitted, just scroll back in your feed and we will be back in the BIZ inbox next week. Bye.
See ya.